Hi there, welcome to Happy Chicken Coop YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be answering the question, why you should not get chickens. I know this is a polar opposite question that we'll be answering today, and we're gonna go through 7 different reasons. Before we get into that, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, make sure to subscribe to our website, thehappychickencoop.com. If you subscribe using the link in the description, you will receive a free ebook on the 10 best egg-laying chicken breeds. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. So, many people get chickens thinking they're cute, easy to look after, and do not require a great deal of maintenance. After all, how much upkeep can they really be? Unfortunately, this rosy and optimistic outlook puts a lot of chickens into shelters on the streets or killed because they did not meet the owner's expectations. If you're looking at getting chickens but are not 100% sure, then this video is for you. I've compiled a list and put together reasons to not keep chickens. I don't want to deter you from keeping these beautiful creatures, but for the best interests of you in the bird, I'm going to take a real world look at keeping chickens. So how much do chickens cost? Because they can be expensive if you're not careful. While the average chick will set you back about $3 to $5 per bird, there are plenty of additional expenses to keeping chickens. The biggest expense will likely be your coop. If you're handy and can build from scraps, a sturdy coop will set you back for less than around $100. It's also possible to repurpose a garden shed or small outbuilding as well. To buy a ready-made coop for a few hens will cost you upwards of a few $100s depending on what you want. Often, the advertising of these coops is optimistic to say the least. A large hen, such as a Rhode Island Red, requires about 4 square feet per chicken. So if you bought a coop that says it will house 6 chickens, it will probably house 4 comfortably. Another hefty expense can be your equipment, and that's the feeders and drinkers in particular. And these don't have to be expensive, and there's plenty of homemade or repurposed chicken feeders and drinkers. If you decide on secondhand, make sure they are well cleaned and disinfected before you use them with your flock. And finally, as sometimes forgotten recurring cost is feed. Depending on how many chickens you will have, determine how much feed you'll use. I have 30 chickens and they eat about 50 pounds every 2 weeks, so roughly $6 a week. To help you figure out the cost of feed, an average hen will eat about half a cup to 1 cup of feed per day. Other items your chickens will need are grit, oyster shell, vitamins, electrolytes, dusting powder, and any toys you may buy them. Now, chickens are dirty. This is what we call the ew factor. Chickens can get lice and mites, not to mention intestinal worms and other quote-unquote icky parasites. Now, are you up to dealing with these? Truthfully, in 5 years, I've dusted my birds only a handful of times since they've had few lice. They dust bathe themselves regularly, so the parasites are kept in check. I have, however, trimmed poopy feathers around the vents. This is not for those who have a delicate constitution and needs to be done to prevent maggot infestation in the summer. The hens usually sit quietly for me, but I've had a few that are convinced I'm going to kill them, so it becomes a struggle to see who wins. A note on dust bathing. Chickens need somewhere they can dust. I have an article that we've put together on how to make a simple dust bath. I'll link to that in the description. You need to be careful because if you don't have a dust bath, they will make your garden, if you have one, look like it has survived a bomb blast. They love to make several small depressions in the garden for their own personal spa. And third, chickens need some of your time. Once you have birds set up and running smoothly, they will actually only require about half an hour or so of your time each day. However, to get to know your hens well, spend as much time as you can with them while they're still young. The rewards are tamer chickens and the ability to spot trouble early and treat accordingly, and of course, free psychotherapy. The coop needs cleaning regularly to keep it and your birds clean and healthy. The summer months especially need your regular attention. Dirty, uncared for coops can lead to disease and death of your birds and possible rodent infestation, not to mention flies. To give you an idea of coop cleaning, here is my schedule for an 8 by 12 foot coop. The coop and surrounding area are cleaned thoroughly 2 times a year, fall and spring. I usually spray vinegar and water to clean the walls and surfaces, a shop vac to remove dust and cobwebs, etc. All used bedding is removed and disposed of in the compost, replacing with new bedding. Once the spring cleaning is done, I remove the poop and soiled straw at least every other day. In the summer, this helps keep the coop from smelling. If you have a small mobile coop, such as a tractor type, Obviously, the time you need to clean thoroughly will be considerably less. Another reason you wouldn't want to get chickens is chicken zoning in your area. Depending on where you live, you're likely to be zoned for noise, nuisance, sanitation, all that good stuff. Many towns and cities are slowly relaxing laws on keeping chickens due to public demand. However, roosters are usually a no-no in urban areas. The biggest concern most neighbors voice is rodents. Where there is food, there will be mice or rats. If you keep your feed stored securely, there really should not be a problem, but keep your eyes open. Using a metal container is best, but a plastic tote bin works just as well. Make sure you check the plastic bin frequently for any sign of gnawing on the plastic because rodents can become very determined. Overall, how is your health? Because if your health isn't great, that's another reason not to get chickens. If you suffer from allergies or respiratory problems, you must think very seriously about keeping birds or chickens otherwise. The dander and dust created by birds is an allergen, and it can occasionally cause reactions in some people. Many people raise chicks inside their house until they are big enough to go outside. The amount of dust created is huge, and anyone suffering from asthma or similar ailments will be highly stressed. If the allergy is mild and you want chickens anyway, a face mask will help to keep the dust from bothering you. Now you need to ask yourself if they are really worth it and if you have a backup plan. Having pets or livestock is a big undertaking. You should always discuss it with your family. What will happen if you're unable to take care of your birds for a few days? Will a family member take over, or will the birds be left alone? If you don't have a backup plan for the welfare of your birds, think carefully now about what will happen to the birds in an emergency. They are living, breathing creatures that depend on you to care for them. Many families keep chicken keeping a 4-H activity that teaches children about keeping and caring for livestock. It's a great educational experience and maybe the best route to decide whether or not keeping your chickens is for you. If you have a dog in the family, it could be a problem. I know it is for us. My dad's dog, we thought would be more tame. However, she's got a pretty high prey drive. She goes after rabbits and chickens, so we have to separate them or just not take them out if she is brought to our farm. Now, it's because dogs love to chase things, and chickens are not an exception. If you are determined, you'll have to train your dog to accept the birds and leave them alone, or fence the birds in well so the dog cannot access them. Another reason to not get chickens is hens stop you going on vacations. If you regularly go on vacations, you need to check that your usual pet sitter is okay with chickens. Some people are terrified of birds. This would be good to know before the vacation starts. Chicken sitting is a bit different from regular pet sitting. They have to be let out in the early morning, fed, watered, eggs collected, and in the evening they need to be securely locked in. Your sitter must be diligent about this, otherwise you may come home to find that local fox had chicken for dinner. A friend recently went on vacation and came back home to find the chickens had not been fed for a couple days, eggs had not been collected, and she now had 4 broody hens. Another reason to not get chickens is they lay a lot of eggs. Hopefully this is one of the reasons you're actually considering adding chickens to your home, but if you aren't ready to collect eggs or eat them or sell them or give them away on a regular basis, then take a hard pass on chickens. Most hens lay about an egg a day, and if you don't plan on collecting them, they will end up all over the coop, dirty and cracked. Additionally, uncollected eggs are a magnet for predators and rodents, especially in the winter. Raccoons, snakes, and even barn cats love to eat eggs, and if they found their own egg factory, guess where they will be setting up shop? So if you decide to get chickens, make sure you have a daily plan to collect the eggs and a place to put them. Whether that's in your own tummy or your neighbors, someone will appreciate them. So, are chickens worth it? Let's summarize. We've given you so much to think about here. Caring for chickens is usually pretty straightforward, but you must be prepared. If you've listened to this video and are not deterred, the best advice we can give is to start small with a few hens. And then we also have an article where we have gotten advice, or we've reported and taken notes on advice from 47 chicken keepers. I'll link to that article in the description. Some people collect hens because they have pretty feathers or lay blue eggs. Decide what you want and stick with it. Many online hatcheries will supply you with small orders and can give you one of each of what you want. So as always, do your homework and decide what's right for you. For those of you who have decided to get some chickens, welcome to the world of crazy chicken people. If you already have chickens, let us know in the comments below for advice for new chicken keepers. That's going to do it for us here at the Happy Chicken Coop. Thanks for listening today. If you find our content interesting, if you learned something new, make sure you please subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video with your friends. And with that, I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.